Hi, thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this simple jumpsuit for my baby. Please keep watching. And this measurements that I use here can be used for a baby from 9 months to 1 year. So the first thing I have here is my fabric that I'm going to use for the upper part. I've already prepped it out. The length of the fabric is supposed to be about 10.5, and this part is going to be the upper part of the jumpsuit, which is the bodies. So as you can see here, I have an extended part from the one that is on fold. That extended part is going to be the front part, while the folded part is going to be the back part, and that extension is just 1 inch away from the middle fold. So here I'm first of all measuring the shoulder measurement, which I'm using 4.5 for. Then from that shoulder measurement point, I come down by 1/2 inch, and then I measure 5 inches to draw the shoulder angle. This is so that it's not going to be tight around the shoulder area. And then I'm just measuring on the shoulder line there so I can put the shoulder curve. Now after doing this, I'm going to measure 6 inches for the width of the bodies, quarter of the width of the bodies, and add 1 inch for sewing allowance. So this 6 inches is going to be not so tight and not so fitted, just enough accommodation so that the baby will not be feeling tight in it. Also, I would advise that if you are wearing this for your baby, you should plan that you'll be wearing something other, because it's more or less like a jacket around the bodies. Then for the neck width, I'm using 2.25 for the neck width, and for the neck depth I'm using 2.5 inches. Now for the back neck, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the back neck. So that 2.5 inches I came down by is for the front neck. But because I'm doing the front and the back bodies together, so I'm measuring everything together. So that 7 inches that I measured for the round chest is what I'm also going to use for the waist. Remember that the 7 inches contains 1 inch sewing allowance. I'm just indicating again for you with my finger there that the 1 inch extension is needed. So then I've cut out around the neck depth for first the front and then the shoulder slope part. Then I'll now cut out the front neck depth. And just like that, I've finished prepping my body so I can go to the bottom part of the jumpsuit, which is going to be the shorts. Now whatever it is that I measured for the chest circumference is what I'm also going to measure for the width of the trouser. So then after measuring that 7, I came down by 8 inches. I'd advise that you come down by 9 inches, because when I waited for my baby, I realized I was just a little bit tight. So just come down by 9 inches, and then for the crotch extension you're going to use 1.5, and then just join it like that to the angle that I have here. So at the lower part of the shorts area, I'll also measure that 7 inches, and then I'll create a slanty line such that when I hem that part, it's not going to look funny inside. It's going to hem properly. So it's just a slanty line like that. So I can cut this out. And just like that, the shirt is ready. So here now I've already joined the shoulder of the upper part, and after joining the shoulder, I've also turned the armhole area with the bias. So from the middle of the neckline, I'm going to measure 1 inch, and that 1 inch I'll just draw a straight line down to the bottom part of the bodice. Now what I'm doing here is to put that pink frill that you saw at the beginning of the video. So here I'm just drawing the line now, so that when I'm going to put that pink frill is where the line is I'm going to put it. So you see that it's 4 inches at the bottom, then 1 inch at the shoulder, and just connect with a straight line from front of the bodice to the back of the bodice. So even though I used a pink frill for a pink fabric for that frill part, you can just use the Ankara to do it. So here I have a fabric.
So when you get that now, you're
3
going
inches.
to
I'm going to
one
that
part of
part.
it,
And make
and
sure
then
that
the other
this,
part, if you can gather,
the
you
length of
gather
this
it along that line that we've drawn from the bottom of the
from the front to the back
bodies to the other
line
side.
that drawn with
But if you
chalk.
cannot gather, you can
So
just
then you gather it,
plait
and
it
after
like
gathering
I've
it
done,
and
and
holding
then
it
I'll
down with the
just put
stitch,
it
this is
down
what it
with a
looks like. Don't forget
stitch like that.
it.
So it's after I've
So
done
then
this now that
after
I'll now
doing this
proceed
now,
to
I
join
can
the
now use
side
my
with the 1
to
inch
join
allowance that
the bodies on both sides.
I provided for it. Also, this is what the
This
short
is what the
looks
shirt
like when you
looks like
open it. So
when it's open.
make sure that you're also
When
going to join it 1
done
inch on
joining
both sides, and then when you join
upper
it,
part, I can
you
join the
put
lower part also with
perfectly
1
with
inch.
front and
So I've
back.
joined
So
it,
I've
and
joined
I've
both sides of the
my
shirt, and then I've also hemmed it. Don't mind my
just make
hemming.
sure that you join it in
I
such a way
was
that
sewing
when
in the
you want
middle
to
of the
add
night
it to
and I
the
was kind of
upper
sleepy.
part, it is
So
going to
then
be the
you
same
open it
thing.
like this.
So after joining it on both sides like that, then I open it, and you can see that I've already hemmed it. After opening it, then so I can now use like half an inch to just join it together. Don't put too much measurement so that it will not be tight. So after joining it now, let me work on the lapel part of the bodies. As you can see here, from the middle of the front bodies to I measured 0.5, and from that place I just notched it. So here I have another piece of fabric that measures about 3.5. And then this fabric is what is going to help me to form the lapel. I already ironed stay on it, so I'm just going to take that fabric too and add it to the front of the bodies with a stitch. Just watch what I'm doing. You can see that I leave allowance up and down so that I don't make any mistakes. So after finish joining it how I want, this is what it looks like. I'm just showing you how it looks like so that I can introduce the second side and you understand what it's supposed to look like. So I've already joined that fabric to this part. So after joining into this part now, remember the place that I notch. I'm going to use another stitch, run another stitch from that notch part to the end of the bodies. So it's actually very, very simple to do. So now after I've already run a stitch, you can see what it looks like. I'm going to trim off that excess, and after trimming off that excess, that place that I put the 1.5 inch notch from earlier, I'm going to notch it again so that when I turn it inside out, it's going to look like how I showed you from that first one. So like that, I can just join it, and then I'll turn it out like this. So that part is where the collar is going to start from. Now the next thing you need to do is to go to your iron and just iron it properly with a steam. Note that you don't have to use a different color of fabric because I just have it as I'm using it now. Let's always use the same fabric I'm using to make the clothes for all of these ones. So here now I'm going to cut out the collar. Off camera I already measured what the round neck is from that notched area to the back. Also I notched the middle of the neck at the back. So then I'm going to put my fabric on fold, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces of fabric that measures the round neck plus 1 inch for allowance on fold. So on fold, that's what it is. And also I'm going to iron stay on the fabric so that it's going to give it structure. Here I just decided to use 3 inches. Sorry, you can hear my baby's voice in the background. So just cut it out like that, and then cut another one because we are going to turn it inside out. So after cutting it, I've already used iron stay on it, and then I'm measuring the round neck plus 1 inch just so that I have a perfect measurement and there's no excess or shortage. So after doing this now, from that middle of the neck, I'm going to come down by 0.75, and then I'm going to slant it to the beginning, just so that it just gives the collar a better fit. Advise that you do this after ironing the stay, just like I'm doing. So then I'm going to turn it inside out with one part folded please note that the part that I'm going to fold in is going to be the part of where the slant is, not this part that I'm showing. So after I've already folded it like this, then I ironed it, so I can now fit it to the collar. From the notch part, I'm just going to put it inside. Look at the way it is. I've already used a stitch to fold that end part inside, so I'll just join it. Then after joining it, I'll just fold the excess inside, and then I can use another stitch to join it, and just like that I'm done with the collar. So after finishing the collar, I can now use a stem to press the lapel. But first, make sure that you've hemmed this interfacing parts before you put the collar. It will be easier to do. So also here, as you can see, I've put the buttonhole because it's easier to put the buttonhole before adding the middle part. Now I can now add the middle parts. You can see what it's going to look like when I'm done. So before I add the middle parts, I'm going to just get the shorts and just join that part. I should have joined it earlier. I've joined it now, so I brought it back now. Then I'm going to notch the middle of the middle of this upper bodice. So I can now put it inside. Look at the way I'm doing it. I first of all did it like this until I got how I'm going to just pin it. And here, if your one measurement is bigger than the other, this is where you would know, and then you can easily correct it before you turn it. Also, when you're turning, remember that you're going to need allowance to put to make an elastic casing. So just join with like 0.75 or 1 inch. So that after joining that upper part, you now create an elastic casing that you put the elastic. So that is a perfect fit. So after joining it, I created an elastic casing and held it down and just put elastic that fits my baby. I also went ahead to weave the fabric so that it's not fraying inside and everything. And that's just like that. My clothes is ready. Please remember to do your belt and put a belt hoop at by the side. Bye.